Slam Pigs Podcast, Future Wrestling Podcast, Red Leaf WrestleCast. What has become a first simulcast, just 2 shows, it's turned into 3. Obviously, you're not just watching it here. Also, if you're watching on Future Wrestling Podcast, my man from there is there. Logan and Colin, what's going on, man? Tag it in. Now can you guys hear me? Now can you guys hear me?
Now I
can
hear.
All right.
Yes.
Well,
yes.
my listeners heard it. I don't know why the fuck it does that, but yes, Slam Pigs Podcast, Future Wrestling Podcast, Red Leaf WrestleCast. What it started as 2 as a first ever simulcast here. Welcome, Hippie TMD channel. Logan and Colin from Future Wrestling. What's going on? Welcome. And Red Leaf WrestleCast in the house. JD and Rad Zero. My God, what a stacked crew we have assembled, Logan. What's turned into a little DM, hey, why don't we do this, as just look at what we've got now. What's going on, man? Welcome.
Thanks for having me right here on Slam Pigs, and thanks for coming on Future Wrestling Podcast right here on Future Entertainment.
Yeah. And here, and why don't you introduce your co-host?
Well, first of all, I brought in the guy from Cruise Control. I brought in Colin. So thank you, sir, for joining us right here on Future Wrestling Podcast. Once again, Colin, where can they check you out?
Man, I'm doing a 3-peat. I'm doing a 4-peat tomorrow. 4 shows in a row. I'm burnt out. I'm losing my smile. But as always, it's nice to be back. It's nice to be talking wrestling with some intelligent people who know what they're talking about. You can check me out on Twitter at UberTieGuy, where I frequently live tweet all the shows I'm watching. And I just tweet about random things all the time. And you can check me out on Future Entertainment, where we do Cruise Control. You know, and check me out over at Travis's channel, where we're doing Slam Pigs with my friend Kuzan. You can check me out a plethora of places.
Yes, sir. And Travis, this first time simulcast. Who did you bring on tonight?
I don't know if it's not like I signed them. I mean, we all just we're in a Twitter group. I'm like, hey, why don't you come on? No, obviously, you're looking at the picture, their logo, if you're catching on my channel. Red Leaf WrestleCast, JD and at Bowling JD and Rad Zero. What's going on, man? Welcome finally to Slam Pigs Podcast.
Hey, what's going on, Travis and Logan? Thank you so much for having me on both the Slam Pigs and Future Wrestling simulcast. My first time here. I know it's long overdue, Travis, so definitely stoked to be here. And this is, I guess, our first time, JD, on branching out of our debut episode just, a week or 2 ago?
Damn right, you said it. First and foremost. Oh, I am so excited, Rad, that we are both here for the Hibiki TMD and the Future Wrestling Podcast. Are you kidding me? And Colin, I apologize.
So drunk.
Oh, so drunk? Are you kidding me? I'm only 6.5 beers in and a shot because, oh my God, TakeOver was good. And we still have Ring of Honor to watch, all of us, because we know what's priority. We knew what the better card was going to be because we are the gods of wrestling, guys. We are channeling our inner Chris Jericho. We know what's happening. Red Zero, you and I on the Red Leaf WrestleCast know what's up. We are honored to be a part of what's happening right here, right now, right after NXT TAKEOVER New Orleans. Thank you for having us. Take it away, Travis or Logan. I don't care who else.
I just pictured all 5 of us in a long ass limousine dressed as a bunch of JBLs when you called us wrestling gods.
Oh. JBLs, are you kidding me? I am channeling my $1 million man Ted DiBiase at this point.
As you should. As you should. And you know what else is awesome for my listeners, Logan's listeners? Your guys' content, both Rad, your channel, and JD, your kick-ass game review podcast that I was on last week. Check that out if you haven't. Where can everyone catch both your guys' stuff out real quick?
Mine is on Rad Zero. Mine is Rad Zero on YouTube, and you can find me Rad083 on Twitter. Mostly tweets and posts, retro gaming and wrestling, live tweeting pay-per-views, at least the ones that I'm being a part of and actually watching. And on my YouTube channel, I kind of cover unboxings of wrestling figures, a huge toy collector, and anything involving retro gaming. JD?
Oh, I'm glad you asked. I am the $1 Million Man of Wrestling Podcast. Clearly, right now, one episode in. Red Leaf Retrocast has started the WrestleCast with Rad Zero as the primary host. Hibiki, TMD, I expect you on the post-WrestleMania cast with the NXT cast on Monday night. I'm calling you out right now. Are you going to be there?
You can't see it, but I'm doing a Mega Powers handshake to you. Hoping
There
it's
we
being
go.
returned.
So
There you go.
Monday night, Red
Travis,
Leaf
stop.
Retrocast,
Just be a mark for yourself and do the yes chant.
I don't want to do the yes chant. It's overdone.
Be a mark and do the yes chant like we're supposed to.
Mega Powers handshake to you, JD. Of
No,
course. And this
no.
Monday, I'm excited. for
Mega
that.
Powers handshake all around.
No,
Yeah, you know,
no.
there might be a prediction faux pas later down the line, which we'll get into later, naturally. But holy crap, what a night. Thank you for having us once again. I'm repeating myself at this point, but god damn was it nice to be a wrestling fan tonight.
Yes,
So
it was.
he was pulling his $1 Million Man to his $5 to his name. I thought he was pulling a Stone Cold Steve Austin and drinking a lot of beer.
It was a little of both, let's be honest.
Let me say this one more time.
So like a
$5
Del
to his
Rio.
name.
You're like a drunk rich guy. Sorry, that was cheap shot. I couldn't help it.
And
You're
he
right.
got the
You're
sloppy seconds with Paige.
Logan, he's
Dude, I'll take
absolutely
sloppy.
right.
I'll take sloppy 4th, 6th, 7th if you give me Paige.
At this point, that's all you're gonna get.
That's accurate.
Like, hey, I'm not a picky Paige. You know what I'm saying?
Rather take the chick that's playing her in the movie.
Yeah, we'll get to that. We'll get to that later tonight. I do want to
Yeah,
say,
they've
how
done
did
it a couple
Logan
times.
and I both do on your channel, NXT Weekly Review? How we did not even bring it up, but like obviously it's Logan and I's favorite show, consistently and weekly to watch. It's always fun to review NXT. And you're exactly right. These takeovers, I've yet to see a bad takeover, and it feels like, in a way, the new streak. But I feel like I'm going to jinx it every time I say that. But it's so true, and every time I think they top themselves, my God. We knew going in on this one it was stacked, but you're totally right. Across the boards, not one of us is going to give this show a bad review. I can say that now, and I feel like all of us felt refreshed to feel like fans tonight. Colin, would you agree with that sentiment?
I have said it before and I'll say it again. I love wrestling with all my heart. I think it's one of the greatest things to exist in just the world. And this night is pure fact that wrestling, there's nothing like it. I mean, you're not going to have, a football player making his run down the field and having, fuck you chants directed at him. That ain't happening in football. That ain't happening in baseball, soccer, whatever sport. It ain't happening. But in wrestling, it is. And tonight was just pure fact that, it might be scripted. Some moves might not hurt as much, but it's as real as any other goddamn thing on the planet.
Exactly. Couldn't say it any better. Besides the fact that he's just happy to have a relationship. Thank you, Colin, for your 2 cents.
I'd like to reiterate on that fact for a second here, if you don't mind, guys.
Not at all. Good.
So on my live stream that was requested by my audience of the Red Leaf Retrocast. Cheap plug, I admit, but I'm not above that tonight. There was a new wrestling fan just chiming in for the night on my cast. Brand new. And he goes, I'm chiming in for WrestleMania, but you convinced me based on your WrestleCast. Thank you, Rad. You were part of that. You were part of the convinciation. I know that's not a word, but it sounds convincing nonetheless. He was joining me on the cast, and he watched the ladder match first. All right, I'll watch one more. Ember Moon, MMA convincing. The night went on, and he got more and more into it as it went on. And he goes, is WrestleMania going to be this good? And I go, look, WrestleMania is a different animal than what NXT presents to us.
Yeah.
First and foremost. Second most is the fact that NXT takeovers are for a more longer term wrestling fan. And then we got into it. Then I essentially cut a promo on the live stream where it just went, look, if WWE live shows, pay-per-views, what have you, would do storylines like this on the main program, like the Attitude Era, even the mid 90s, even the early 90s, they would have their fan base to base it off of.
The thing is, they do. They try to do that. And shout out to our buddy who couldn't make it on tonight, our good buddy Jim from Drake Beer Play Game. He said it in the group chat earlier, and he was completely right when he said, this is what happens when you don't have monthly pay-per-views. You get a chance to build up these angles, God forbid. And I think WWE tries to do what NXT does, but it's in short spurts, and it doesn't work that way. You cannot, the emotion we saw in this main event, the fact that in 2018, when guys are coming out dressed in laser suits like fucking VR troopers, and the guy came out with no music, did nothing, and got that much heat, speaks that kayfabe truly isn't dead at the end of the day. As much as technology exists and kayfabe is dead, people think it really isn't, because you can still invoke emotion if built up properly, something we say all the time. And you can say NXT has an advantage because they have a leg up, because they don't have to do monthly. WWE's kind of backed themselves in a corner, guys. With the network, they have to do every 2 weeks. Hell with monthly, right, Logan?
Yes, exactly.
Well, actually,
here's an issue with that. They haven't totally backed themselves in the corner, because all it takes is building up a storyline at a time. Because we see this with New Japan as a great example. They have 1-2 storylines at a time, and then they build upon the lower card, making the storyline later.
They never, more times than not, they never live up to the payoff, is what's the most important. Think of the best emotion in an angle and storyline in general last year. It was Jericho and Owens, with the payoff, the length of the build-up properly done. Jericho always helping him win, even though his reign sucked. Always helping him win like chicken shit heel. I feel like that was still the best on the main roster last year.
I don't disagree with that aspect, but do you understand the point I'm making with New Japan's angle, with the lower card building up future angles while the upper cards developing that present angle?
Exactly. Yeah, totally. I
it's not,
it's a lost art
impossible. Yeah, right. It's not impossible to develop angles at a time. It would just as we see with New Japan, it hurts your lower card.
And I think at Rad Zero, you're a huge advocate and fan of the Attitude Era, like me, and like a lot of us who kind of grew up in that era. I know Colin and Logan are a little younger, so you guys had to kind of play catch up, which isn't fair to you guys, but still, I think the Attitude Era may be the best era, more so than the Golden Era, the 80s, of building up mid-card guys to a point to where you remember some of the mid-card acts more than some of the main event angles. Like, I was such a huge fan of D'Lo Brown when he was the European and Intercontinental Champion. And I remember the reaction he got at a SummerSlam versus Jeff Jarrett was insane. And they were great at doing it back then.
Yeah, it's almost as if every single match during the Attitude Era had a story to it. And every single wrestler that was a part of the active roster had a character attached to them. And I think that's also a lost art that we lack in today's product.
Mm-hmm. So what happens when you bring shared
Well said, Rad. Well said.
I think NXT guys, under this umbrella as a company, not a brand, is the closest we're going to get to an Attitude Era. I don't think it's coming back to the main roster. We're going to see little glimpses of it, but that's to get water cooler talk, to get quick eyes. It's all about shareholders and the corporate environment, Logan, at the end of the day on the main roster. And we just have to accept that it's not for us anymore. Man. It's not our niche. This is our niche, what we're reviewing tonight.
I mean, fun. Hey, we had Mauro Ranallo dropping the son of the bitch word on commentary.
Oh, I heard that. That's crazy.
Ooh, I missed that.
Yes, it brought back memories.
Jim Ross.
Well, I know this is an NXT TakeOver post show, but I just want to say I don't know if anybody else has heard it. Berto El Patron is no longer in Impact Wrestling after being fired just now.
Good. Alberto Del Rio. That's all I have to say.
What did he do?
He no-showed the whole entire event this weekend.
They were doing an Impact versus Lucha Underground card, so they were having Impact stars.
I thought that was a ploy by Impact and Lucha Underground that he no-showed.
No, that's just Alberto Del Rio being the piece of shit that he's always been.
Oh, fuck. I was being kind of a positive advocate. Because I was on Twitter. If you follow me on Twitter, @BullNJD, cheap plug. I'm not above it. No, I was watching the live Twitch stream, Impact versus Lucha Underground, and I thought, as a positive wrestling fan that I am, that Alberto El Patron, with the promos that were being set prior, that it was all a ploy to get under Aries' skin to not be there for the Lucha Underground event. Now that you say that he's fired, like,
Work.
is it still a work?
I don't think so.
Didn't he put out like a kiss assy love letter like a couple months back, like apologizing to Triple H, like he wants to come back or some shit?
Oh,
Well,
did he
I mean,
really?
it's
I
a
didn't know
fact that Vince McMahon adores Alberto Del Rio.
Still.
He adores him because he sells the lucha Mexican Latino fan base. He sells it.
Hey, I got a replacement for him, and he was in one of the matches tonight.
He was in the match of the night, actually, which we'll get to.
I agree with you, Travis
Yep.
/ Hibiki TMD at Slam Pigs.
I'm the one who said it. Where's my recognition, you ass?
We're 10 minutes in and JD is killing me already. I'm losing my voice.
Stop kissing his ass, JD. Give people the proper credit.
Here's where I'm gonna
Colin, you didn't have half the matches that me and Hibiki TMD at Slam Pigs had correctly.
JD, you got to understand, Colin's very jealous of friendships and relationships because he doesn't have any.
Logan, I am going to come to whatever hick town you live in and punch you straight in the man titty.
California might get cut off the time you get here, so don't worry.
See, now if we take this on the show and we build up just that line for 8 months, we'll have possibly some heat like the main event did tonight. Do you guys, Logan, you want to start from the bottom now we're here, or do you want to start at the main event as we review the show tonight?
Let's start from what happened in the very beginning of NXT, because I think it's just the whole card was so good we could even start in the middle.
That's true.
All right. Here's a proposition for the podcast. It's not mine, but here's a proposition. We start from the women's match.
Is it a sexy proposition?
Well, I mean, that depends on
Sexist
your
pig.
We start with the women's match, and then since this is Logan's stream, future of wrestling podcast stream, by the way, he goes based on what he thinks is the better match from there on.
Well, don't forget Slam Pigs too. Travis also has a say in it too.
Also, it's future entertainment now. Get it right. You're ruining it.
God, here we go.
Who ruins their own brand when they rebrand it? Come on, Logan. What are you doing?
Oh my God.
So that's my proposition.
Logan, let's start with the women's match.
We go based on what you think is the best match of the night.
Ember Moon versus Shayna Baszler. NXT Women's title. Was that the Hailstorm girl, by the way?
Looked like it.
Was it?
Definitely.
Getting her in, she got the Lemmy treatment at this takeover. She got her entrance played by the band that does her theme. That was a fine rendition. What did you guys think of the live entrance, real quick?
I thought it was badass.
I liked it.
All around.
I think it's really
all
cool
around.
Yeah, I think it's really cool that they're getting. I like when they do the live entrances at WrestleMania takeovers. I thought it was really cool when they did Aleister Black's at the last takeover. I liked it when they did Bray Wyatt's at WrestleMania, Randy Orton's, all that. I love it.
When I saw Ember Moon come out to that, I was like, "Oh, she's losing."
Really?
Well, actually, no. Logan has a good point. If you recall, I mentioned Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton. Every time I can't say it's every time, but a lot of the time, whenever someone gets a live entrance, most of the time they lose.
Besides Aleister Black.
That's true.
Drew McIntyre, when he had the bagpipes come out with him, he lost. I think. That was before. My bad. That's when he won.
Well, that was kind of an on the spot shoot after he blew his bicep.
Right.
I'm thinking of when he beat Bobby Roode at Brooklyn. Okay. Yeah. Whoopsie. Mm-hmm. Whoopsie doo. Logan, I didn't see a lot of this match. As usual, I have to work for most pay-per-view post shows, so I miss usually the good part of the first match. I didn't miss much of the first match, but I missed I missed the meat and potatoes of this match, so I can't talk about it a lot just due to adulting issues with kids and whatnot. But what did you think?
Well, for the Ember Moon versus Shayna Baszler, I will have to say my expectations were coming into this like, we've seen it before. I don't think they're going to top what they've done in the past because there's really not much you can top in the past either. And they did. Unfortunately, they actually did. And I like the fact that they made Baszler so strong into this match. And when she won the title, for me, coming out of this, I was just like, she's going to hold that title until somebody can stop her. And she's going to be the next Asuka with a reign.
Fair enough.
No, I can't truly disagree with that statement. Rad and I are very much advocates of women's wrestling. As I will gladly go above and beyond that statement. Rad, what did you think of this match? I'll let you say your opinion first.
Yeah, cool. I thought it was a good match all around. My pick was Baszler, not because actually I'm a fan of Ember Moon, but I just had a feeling that they were going to give it to her because I have a strong feeling that they're setting Ember Moon up for, her main roster debut. Regardless, every babyface in wrestling needs a villain, in this case a villainess, and who better than Shayna Baszler. Tell me one thing though: is Kairi Sane still part of NXT, or is she already on the main roster? Considering that she's going to be in that Women's Battle Royal,
she is absolutely still part of NXT at this point upon recording.
There you have it.
Yeah, she's gonna be in a one-on-one match on the next the next NXT show coming up.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
so
see her being called up for a while.
Yeah.
Exactly. So
I think it would be great to see her in a program against, Baszler, maybe a championship match at the next pay-per-view.
Oh well, it's an easy line considering Kairi Sane beat Shayna Baszler in the Mae Young finals, and now that Shayna Baszler has the championship, it's a ready-made feud for Kairi Sane to walk in and be like, "Hey, beat you once, I'm gonna do it again."
That's exactly the point to why Kairi Sane faced off against oh god, what's her face on NXT on Wednesday, the Go Home show.
It's a quick win for Baszler too, in like her first takeover defense, because she's already beaten her before. I mean, it's a quick storyline for her first opponent. The question is, what do you do with her after she goes through? Does she go through Kyrie? You could put the belt on Kyrie a month later, I guess, 2 months later.
But it does make it believable for a rivalry to continue from there, because Kyrie's beaten her once, Baszler's beaten her once. They've had a no DQ. Whatever the next event happens, it makes it believable. So to have Baszler, as I think we can all agree that Baszler isn't at Ember Moon's level in ring skill or even promo wise right now.
I don't think she's supposed to be. I think when we bring, and I give her a lot of shit. God, but I think in a way they're purposely exploiting her weaknesses to get her more heel heat, and they do that a lot with guys, and a lot of people don't pick up on that.
Absolutely.
And I think, and I agree with continuing that feud as a built-in storyline. And while you do that, you can cultivate and bring up some of the other talent at the same time, like a Dakota Kai, like some of the great women you have down there.
Absolutely. And I also agree with the fact that it still does leave some, because of the Ember Moon Asuka feud prior, it leaves something, in the back of fans' minds in the future. Ember Moon is clear, let's face it. In my opinion, Ember Moon carried this match from start to finish. Baszler still has not a lot to learn at this point, but she still has a lot of in-ring persona to the ability to sell moves and what have you. She did a fantastic job in selling the single arm injury. Now selling a eclipse from the top rope to the outside, that's a different story, for sure.
Can we just all point out how great it was?
I think that's not on Baszler's fault. That's a bad booking decision.
I really feel like Tuesday at SmackDown we're going to see Ember Moon interrupt Asuka's title celebration.
Oh, that would be awesome.
I really do. I think it's time. I think she's beyond ready, and I think they know she's ready, and I think that's a big reason she lost specifically at this takeover. Sorry, Colin, I know you're about to say something. I mean, cut you off.
Can we just all say how great it was that Shayna Baszler took a second. I was confused at first because I was tweeting something and I looked up and I just see Shayna Baszler ramming her shoulder into the ring post. I was like, what the fuck is she doing? And then, I realized, oh, she's selling the dislocation. We're supposed to believe she dislocated her arm and now she's just shoving it back into place.
Oh, it was fantastic.
Which I thought was
fantastic.
I also loved later in the match when she was doing the chokehold. Her other arm is injured, so she's using the other arm to apply the pressure, but she's grabbing onto her own hair to keep the leverage instead of having to use her injured arm.
Yeah.
Yep. She's learning very quickly, and I think that's a positive right now, and I think that's what WWE sees in her right now, and that's why they gave her the title.
No, Logan, you're absolutely right. Because during the chat, Hibiki, Travis, you're an advocate of seeing the negative on Shayna Baszler.
I'm not. I'm really not. I just like.
Are you really not? Or are you just pointing out like certain negative?
I'm critical. I think I'm fair when I make my critique on her, but I'm not like biased. Like, well, I hate the way she looks, so I'm gonna. It's not like that. But I crack a joke now and then. Baron Corbin. But that's besides the point. It's in good fun. Those are in good fun.
I am the resident Baron Corbin mark.
Yeah, you think I'm bad, Colin? Tell him.
I wholeheartedly give Travis permission to make the comparison because it's very much true.
All right, well that's fair enough. The way I look at Shayna Baszler is, it is clearly an experiment for Ronda Rousey.
Oh, 100%.
100%. Now, everything further than that is on Shayna Baszler, and I clearly believe that Triple H, NXT, and WWE see this. If they didn't see this, then the belt wouldn't be on Shayna Baszler right now instead of Ember Moon continuing to carry NXT like Asuka did.
Okay, so devil's advocate to that, and I can see that. I can also see Triple H having the foresight to see that if he puts two women in the ring like that at a pay-per-view where any pay-per-view usually, most of the fans are the smart fans usually because of ticket prices, just because of, it's Sundays or whatever. And especially like a Mania or an NXT crowd, you put them in the ring together, he has the foresight to know these fans are going to chant, "We want wrestling," when they see two MMA carbon copy type characters in a way, because we saw this with Dan Severn and Ken Shamrock. Anytime they tried to take an outside legit sport in any pro wrestling in a WWE umbrella, fans always try to do that shit and try to be clever. And I'm not saying, it's not like I'm against having more MMA like they did in Japan. Like, that's basically Japan, especially back in the day. I'm not against that. I just know that fans will ruin it.
Well, that's the evolution of Strong Style Evolved.
Right.
Yeah.
But tell the drunk guy in a fucking Young Bucks shirt at a WWE pay-per-view who has to go into business for himself and be an ass and like try to ruin shit like that sometimes. That's what it is. And I think Triple H knows fans would do that. So they got to be careful if they're going to book that. I can see both sides of it, I guess. But this match, like I said, I didn't see a lot of it. Would you guys all give it a pass, or would you say it was a flop? Rad Zero.
I say it was good. Maybe not great, but it wasn't bad. So I give it maybe a fair rating.
Yeah, I agree.
A fair rating? For me, this match, it wasn't spectacular. We've seen better women's matches on NXT takeovers, and
for sure,
definitely for sure. But for me, from the past matches that they've been involved in, I would have to give this one a B compared to the other ones being a C or below.
Well, the fact that all of us had Baszler winning and we're still giving it a good rating must be a good sign.
It's a good sign for me personally because Baszler, I have not been a fan since the beginning, and the reason why is because I just couldn't see the interesting part about her. So when she started selling tonight, and that she sold better than most professionals that's been doing this for 20 years, I'll be honest with you, I've seen that. Even at independent shows that I've been to, I've seen better out of Baszler than them. So when I saw that tonight, I was like, man, I'm starting to become a fan, and that's what's giving me that
I take it you've seen a Matt Riddle match.
I literally came in at like I came in at like the end of this match, and like I agree with that. Like this is the best I've seen her, like just selling wise and like that. I got to give it that. So I did catch the closing, the ending, the submission, but from that, I just based on that tidbit, I give it a pass. It's worth just the drama that came with it, and just whatever.
And I won't mention names.
Oh, I got a friend at Cody Omega right now. Oh.
Gotta stay strong, gentlemen.
No spoilers. I gotta fucking tell him.
I'm watching it right now. So far, it's pretty good.
The other half of Slam Pigs on the show tonight.
I used to live in Lafayette. Boy, did I fucking move at a wrong time. Like, let me tell you.
Right?
Hey,
what's another good reason to live in
life gets
Lafayette?
in the way. I've been deported out of a country in between WrestleManias.
Hey, if it makes you feel any better, I was born in New Orleans, and now I'm, in the middle of Shit Creek, California. So, I mean...
Well, you should move out of California. That's a terrible place to be.
I'm still waiting for him to get deported, so...
Well, while you're at Shit Creek without a paddle, the other half of Slam Pigs, Colin, what did you think of this match?
I thought it was great. I thought it was the best match that Shayna Baszler and Ember Moon had. I thought it was better than their last one. I knew at the last TakeOver match when they had Ember retain the way she did, I knew she was going to win at the next time they had a title match. And, all of us had Shayna Baszler winning. And so I thought the match was good. It showed that Shayna Baszler is improving. She's not, on the level of a Charlotte or an Asuka, but she's definitely far above, some of the other women who have stepped foot in WWE and, accomplished more.
Oh my God, It's funny you mentioned that because Access has been going on. They've been advocating Peyton Royce as like the next big women heel wrestler, and we don't see Billie Kay wrestling at all almost anymore.
I love the iconic duo with a flaming passion.
Is she still hurt, or is it an advocation?
I think it's because I don't know if it's confirmed, but there was a rumor that both of them went away for just a bit because they both there we are.
Can we just stop stuttering and cut out the elephant in the room that Billie Kay is the Marty Jannetty? Would Rad Zero agree with that? That's what.
Might be.
Unfortunately.
What I was going to say before I had a stroke was they both went away to have breast enlarging surgery. I'm forgetting the actual word for it. But so Billie Kay might be still recovering from that while Peyton recovered quicker. So that could be the reason why, we see more of Peyton.
What a weird but not surprising thing.
Colin, have you survived yet? Have you healed yet?
I'm back from the stroke. I made a full recovery. We're good.
No, I was talking about your breast implants.
Oh, fuck, you got me. At least I can still see my toes, asshole.
Oh, I can.
Oof.
And they're bigger than your penis. There we go, Joey Ryan.
Fuck, you got me.
So it's you know what? As you guys talk, I'm gonna look up the Access latest results here.
Okay.
What did the show kick off with, though? Probably the most hyped match load.
Yes, my match of the night, the North American Championship on the line, above the ring in a ladder match.
That is your match of the night?
Yes.
Ooh.
Dig in, Myers. Why? Tell us. And who was your prediction again? Because I can't remember.
I said EC3.
Oh, I got those up, right? I got those up, bro.
North American ladder match for the Crown
Are you
Ever
kidding
champion.
me? I got Colin, Future Wrestling Podcast with Dream. Logan's got EC3. Travis got Cole. Jay from Smack It Down got Cole, and I myself, Red Leaf Retrocast, got Cole.
I fucking hate how accurate EC3. Travis was with his prediction on this and the tag team title match, which we'll get to. I hate it.
Why do you hate it? Why do you hate it? You should be happy. It's our show representing hard, man. What are you doing?
I'm on both shows, so I can be mad for this one and happy for you. It's fine. I'm the Corey Graves of this bitch.
Conflict of interest.
I expect you to dye your hair by tomorrow and see pictures on Twitter. Blonde.
I wouldn't go there.
Shut up, Byron.
No, I'm definitely not Byron.
You know what? Let's before we get to the ladder match, real quick, because the commentary is all over the place. For the most part, let's just mini review the commentary. I thought for overall, Percy Watson gets better and better every time I hear him. I know people give him shit, but maybe I'm hearing different. He's totally a guy they should have up there besides a Otunga or a Byron. He's getting there. And Morrow, my God, did Morrow take 8 Adderalls before this show? Because he never calmed down. The second this fucking show opened, he was on full, as he should be. I feel like sometimes, though, it was noticeably too hyped, maybe. JD, would you agree with that?
No, I mean, oh my God, Mauro Ranallo. Like, I reiterate, I was watching it as a new listener, and they go, "Has the commentary been this good since JR?" I go, "No, it's clearly Mauro Ranallo from the get-go. He is hopped up on coke or some shit, or that's just how he operates 100%. Because I got a fucking podcast to go over. I got this one. I got the next one tomorrow night. I got my own. I got Hibiki TMD. Like, oh my God, if I was Mauro Ranallo, I would have lost my voice 4 times over. He is insane. And yes, Percy Watson has improved immensely over the last month to 3 months through.
No, to be honest with you, if you're going to talk losing your voices, that's the commentators for tomorrow. Did you guys hear what Corey Graves said at the Hall of Fame red carpet? He straight up said he stops drinking soda, water, every liquid 48 hours before WrestleMania.
Yeah, because they don't
just so he can lose his voice.
Break.
Yes.
No. What?
Yeah. You can lose your voice if you have too much liquids, and then, yeah.
Oh, I thought they were doing it because the show is 9 hours long and they don't get a bathroom break.
Well, that too. But yeah, supposedly he wants to keep his voice dry, so he's not having to clear it every 5 seconds. And they also use cough drops to keep their voice going.
Fuck.
Back to Mauro Ranallo, I love how he is always, like, if you follow him on Twitter, he is retweeting during the show. He will literally be talking to you on your computer screen and retweeting what you just said. It's amazing.
No, Mauro Ranallo is a gift to wrestling fans.
He is the workhorse of commentary.
Well, part of the reason why he left, SmackDown Live's commentary and all that is because of the, personal issues that he goes through every single day.
Right.
What are you talking about? It's not because JBL is a total kayfabe asshole.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about that. I know that was definitely sarcasm, but I'm not... But Mauro, he's got some personal issues, demons and stuff. But
you can't tell me that, given the way he does commentary.
No, you can't. But with those personal issues, that's what they do, is they can multitask better than majority of us.
Right.
Look, I will reiterate this fact that I had on my stream new wrestling fans, and when they heard Mauro Ranallo, it was that impactful. His commentary alone was enough to get them to watch future wrestling matches.
Did he make a Beyonce reference, like kind of like under his
Yes.
Did I?
Yes, he did.
What?
No, not you. I mean, Morrow on the
make?
show tonight. I feel like
Yeah.
he said Beyonce at one point.
Yeah,
What?
he said something about Beyonce. It was
Just
weird.
can't help himself. Him and his
What
goddamn
reference
pop
doesn't
culture.
this guy make every single time? If there's a thing in pop culture, he will reference it at least once.
He literally has like a people, I think, at the announce table. It's like, oh, I can use that. Fuck. No, he was good. He was good. It was fine. And Nigel, he's right there. I feel like he's a good kind of counterman or whatever the word is.
He's getting much better, that's for sure.
He definitely has an olive oil voice. But the opening ladder match, finally the North American title. Rad Zero, who was your pick again, and what did you think of the match and what they went with?
First of all, my pick was EC3. I was hoping that he would win, but I think Adam Cole was pretty much a done deal. That was the obvious one, and I'm okay with that win. I'm a fan of the guy in Undisputed Era. The match itself was phenomenal, man. It was just spot after spot and the right way. It was perfectly executed. A lot of great moves, and we really saw a lot of things from Ricochet and Velveteen Dream. So this was definitely their chance to shine, and I'm definitely excited to see where this championship title, goes. I want to see what matches it'll bring us.
While before we
Hmm.
continue, I do have one question for everybody while we're giving our opinions. Is who was the guy that was the most over in your opinion in this match after the match?
Ricochet.
Damn right.
Can I
Thank-
say all
He
of
was on
them?
fire.
I would agree with Colin.
That's a
on
good.
all
Yeah,
of them.
that's a good answer.
I mean,
Colin.
none
I agree.
of them looked bad at all. All of them got a chance to shine. None of them looked weak in defeat. I mean, granted, in a ladder match, it's hard to, you don't get pinned, so you don't look that bad. But I mean, all of them had a chance to, get their moves in, get their holy shit moments in.
Yeah.
All of them looked fantastic.
Everyone got a spot, and Travis, I think you could agree with me. That is the best thing about a ladder match is you do not want to overshadow the next guy in that match, right?
It's ladder matches done right elevate everyone involved. We saw that.
Yes, and I think my spot of the night was the elbow off. I know that's a little simple and generic and all that because we've seen it before, but Velveteen Dream I just love that elbow off the top ladder.
My spot was when the ladder just said "I quit" and it crumbled when Ricochet jumped onto it like Spider-Man, and Lars Sullivan, I don't know if you called it, he hit his head like flush on another ladder and it looked bad. I don't know if he's like legit.
Oh, he was bleeding from the ear pretty badly.
Yeah, and I think he got hit a couple times when ladders just fell randomly.
Well, did you see that this was almost the official transition between what type of ladder they use? Because WWE has used the flush aluminum type ladders for a long time. This seemed to be with how they spray painted the ladders with the red paint, and where they would break. This was the official match that they took precedent over a wrestler's safety and transitioning into the specific wooden ladder.
Yeah, because they've come a hell of a long way in their sturdiness from like the literal fireman's ladders they would use at like Edge and Christian matches. That you know what I mean? The huge ones Jeff Hardy would jump off of. Definitely, I agree. Yeah, this one seemed like it was made of. I don't know. It just. But that spot was cool. Obviously, the biggest spot, and I think we all knew going in, as soon as Ricochet stepped foot on television, he was going to get casuals' eyes because for anyone that's never seen his moves, they'll blow you away. He's incredible. But that moonsault from the ladder from the middle of the ring to the outside was Jesus Christ.
It wasn't a moonsault. It was a shooting star press immediately upon the match.
Like it was great. I love how like innovative they make Ricochet because you think he's just gonna go crash and burn. No, he straight up he looks behind him. He's like, oh, I can turn this into something great. Backflip, boom, done.
Yeah.
And yes, thank you for correcting me on that. By the way.
Yeah,
No, the way they've painted Ricochet isn't this Will Ospreay death-defying character. It's this. I can do the same moves, but I'm not stupid.
Mm-hmm.
It's this, we saw it with EC3's character throughout the match. Like, good God, he took a beating through this thing. From point A to point B, he took every ladder shot imaginable.
Say what you want, and we'll get to the tag title match later. I'm excited to have Rad on. What can I say? It's a long time coming. Don't mean to keep cheap plugging Rad. Adam Cole won again. Didn't have to do much. He did more here than later, but man, talk about the guy with the lucky break tonight. Really, at the end of the day, like, I mean, is it me? I thought like he was he didn't have to do a lot. Obviously later, but here it's like he took some nasty bumps and he was in there, but not as much of a focal point. I knew he would win in the chicken shit heel kind of way, just like kind of sneak in, hit that move, and then just climb up.
Travis. You act like you're the only one that predicted this bullshit. Come on.
I feel like I'm classy Freddie Blassie and you're the Grand Wizard, and we're like these mastermind.
We both had the same mind where this would be a career-defining night for Adam Cole, where he would just pull out a win out of nowhere, just all the time, just whatever the means.
He's overdue too. The match to elevate Black at the last takeover, I felt like, and definitely that little tester in the Rumble appearance for Cole. I know the prediction show last week, I felt like he was overdue, and that was the case. And The highlights, like I said, because I came in late, I've seen basically the highlights, can't overall match, but I'm going to go back definitely as soon as I can and watch the entire thing. But guys, what did you think? Colin, the ladder match.
I thought it was insane. It was a great. If you've never watched wrestling and you want to start, this is the match to show someone. This, especially if you want to show them like the NXT brand. This was a great way to, and even in NXT, this was a great way to establish 6 people who are going to carry the brand for a while. I mean, Killian Dane is probably going to be on his way up sometime soon with Sanity. They've kind of done all they can, but I mean, and you have feuds ready to go after this. They had the Lars Sullivan Killian Dane match on NXT last week. They continued the thing here. And for the record, I just want how impressive Lars Sullivan was in this match. When Killian Dane was running at him to do that crossbody and Lars just caught him out of midair, that was incredible.
Yeah.
And catching Ricochet and holding on, and I mean the ladder shattered, but it was fine. I thought it was great. Outstanding.
Yeah, for me, Lars Sullivan was, one of the guys that was underrated maybe in this match going into it. But he came out.
Colorado Avalanche made the playoffs. They beat the St. Louis Blues. They're in the NHL hockey playoffs. Go on, Logan. I'm sorry.
Golden Knights.
Pittsburgh Penguins suck our dicks. Sorry, go.
Good God, am I the only one? Is it me and just Rad talk about wrestling? We're just gonna randomly.
I didn't bring up hockey. JD did.
It's truly a big deal.
Is it not a big deal?
It kind of is.
No.
Back to NXT.
Get it together, Logan. You can do it. I believe in you. Got this.
I definitely got this. For me, going forward though, I want to see Velveteen Dream, win a championship. I think it's bound to happen. I think this is the perfect opportunity if you have Almas going up to the main roster, which I think could be the possibility. I could see Velveteen Dream in the NXT Championship picture going into the future. What do you guys think?
No, it's really a North American title. It's just the persona. I don't think he has the total package of in-ring skill that say an Adam Cole has.
You shut your whore mouth right this second.
Dude, I am fine with mid-carders maintaining the mid-card. It's just the difference between
mouth right now. The Velveteen Dream is going to be WWE champion one day.
WWE's not there. Who am I to say what happens 10 years from now? But 5 years from now, not a chance.
Brad, what do you think? Velveteen Dream.
I think he's fantastic. I do believe he still needs a long way before we I guess describe him to be future WWE champion. But other than that, he has it. He's very charismatic. Definitely has the character. Going back to that I think that's something that lacks in today's product. He definitely is it.
Brad, I agree with you, but you can't forget how long it took Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels to get to the main card.
And a key word Rad said too was character. Look at Jake Roberts, Roddy Piper. Piper held the IC belt, but he beat the Mountie. Come on, I don't count it. I mean, he had the great match with Bret, but he didn't need that belt. It didn't elevate his career at the end of the day. It was just like, oh, he had a match with Bret that was really good. But Velveteen Dream doesn't need any belt. He's so over without it. Why put the extra? I mean, maybe for credibility for a little bit, but ever as a world guy, I don't know. He'll just be a really popular upper mid-card act.
WWE operates these days, though.
They stopped caring about characters on the main roster. They stopped caring about merchandise. They can market the hell out of the Dream with their. God,
I know they can. You know they can.
They could take all those Enzo wigs now that are going to be useless and just spray paint them black.
Actually, apparently the charges were dropped, so Enzo's on his way back. Mark my words.
Oh, God, that would be disgusting. He's already hated the locker room.
Spray paint him yellow again, Logan. We had to change him back. I didn't even know that. Breaking news. Look at that. Until I was working all day. Fuck.
I quit.
Tag team title match. I want more of Pete Dunne and Kyle O'Reilly. I need to see it. For that belt, too. I don't mind that. Those guys, so much potential in matches with those. But this was a great match. I just wish the crowd, and to the crowd's credit, they came off the Incredible Ladder match and a women's title
I'm getting
changing.
Just gonna get a beer.
But I love the tag title match. Maybe my second favorite match of the night, honestly. Maybe right there with Ciampa and Gargano. I really liked it. I liked the way it was hard hitting. It was just really good. It just lacked that atmosphere we talk about all the time. Logan, what did you think of the tag team title Dusty Rhodes finals match?
God damn.
Oh God, here we go. Colin's gonna complain and bitch about something. But first, I will say, this triple threat tag team match for the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic Trophy and the NXT Tag Team Championships was, I think it was smart what they did with Adam Cole, because he was just in a vicious, dangerous match. And, you don't want to overdo it with him because, he is the future of NXT right now. So I think that was the smartest thing that they could do booking-wise. Coming out of this, you guys knew what my pick was. I picked AOP to win the titles, start a feud with War Machine going forward, but that did not happen. And I think the turn for Roderick Strong will end up making him look stronger than ever, and that is pun intended.
Ooh, that's hot fire.
You mean the War Raiders now? Spoiler alert.
I can't argue with that. I feel like it was over Strong, and you could see it in the reaction he got tonight. Compared to Dunn, Pun got a hell of a reaction, but then Strong's great. He's just kind of bland as a babyface, and I preferred him as a heel in Ring of Honor, especially with Truth Martini. But Truth Martini's not here. But at least he's got a hell of a bunch of guys surrounding him. We all know the finish now and what panned out. I mean, for the most part, it got everybody. And when it stomped him at first, it didn't register. I was like, wait a minute, what? And then it was like, oh shit. Kind of like the live crowd did too. Maybe it's because we just saw them have a match on NXT, but at first when he stomped Pete Dunne to get him off the cover, didn't hit me at first. I was like, oh my gosh. And then full circle, he put the goddamn Undisputed Era armband on, the crowd went ape shit, and we have a fourth member. And I know the rose-colored glasses from all the news sheets, and all of us, at the end of the day, we want this honor stable, this Ring of Honor stable. Do we think they ever go that far with Dana Bryan? Flat out.
All right, I'm back, guys. I got my fresh beer.
Maybe.
With Daniel Bryan, no. But I mean, this whole thing with Strong and Cole and O'Reilly, I think it's great. It got me. I figured there'd be something. I knew, Adam Cole's out for the whole match. They're going to have to bring in someone else. And, they got me. In the back of my mind, I was thinking Roderick Strong was probably going to, join forces at some point. But I didn't think it was going to be here. I thought it was going to be someone new. Someone, we haven't seen debut before, or someone we have, but he hasn't been doing anything. But I'm really excited for the future as far as what this goes. I have to assume, because Cole won the North American Championship at the next NXT tapings, they'll come out and say, I don't need two belts. Here you go, Roddy. And Roddy will be recognized as NXT champion with Kyle O'Reilly while Bobby Fish is out recovering with his injury.
And then you go Cole in black. Boom. For the title. To get that, and the DX would do that. They would Sean laid down for Triple H for the European belt. But yeah, we would see really, heel stables in back in the day do the handoffs like that, and it would count, or like Freebirds type rules like we saw in this. But
right.
JD, we're just going over just the turn of Roderick Strong and how I thought this match was really good. It was up there with Almas and Black almost, just except for the crowd held it back. But I thought it was a really good match.
Oh, it was a great match. Cole took a table shot through the beginning, and he just laid down the whole time. He didn't even have to be in it to make his mark. Definitely the Strong heel turn was the turning point in the match. It was we got dishonored, guys. We got dishonored.
Yeah.
You realize what that means?
I think Roderick Strong's been in the stable since the decade in Ring of Honor with Jimmy Jacobs and what's his face? The guy that's been there forever too.
Like this leads to more than one thing, and WWE is known for trying to bury stables. Will they try to bury a stable that they kind of conceived on their own. I don't know about Dishonored. That's what I'm calling this Undisputed Era stable. Is I'm calling it Dishonored.
Well, unfortunately, there is a rumor going around that I've just got done reading that you could see Undisputed Era doing double duty on NXT and the main roster.
I'd be fine with that. You get like a Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn with an Adam Cole, and then you have Adam Cole with the rest of them on NXT. Great. That is good TV. That is what would get you, me, Rad, everybody on TV. Not this formulaic nonsense that they're putting on. That's what makes us watch TV week in and week out.
If that happened, God forbid we take the Nexus angle and actually make it work. And I think they could make it like that, like what the Nexus angle should have been. Because we've seen Kevin Owens at TakeOver shows in the Undisputed Era t-shirt, right? Could totally do that, like a quote invasion type thing. They flip flop back.
Yes.
You know.
Well, the report was saying that Adam Cole will be the main focus going to the main roster.
Hell yeah. Good for him.
And it would be to SmackDown Live, to help SmackDown Live out a little bit.
Can I say this about Adam Cole? My son, who's 8 years old, who's only seen like 2 Adam Cole matches, already does the Adam Cole Bebe. It's going to appeal. He's definitely the guy they should go with, I feel like.
I love the half-assed EC3 Bebe thing they did.
Oh, it was so good.
I loved it. EC3 is like, nah, move aside. EC3, and like got no reaction. And then Adam Cole is just like, Adam Cole, and then the whole audience loses their shit like they always do.
Oh, it was so good. Like, he not only like didn't get anything, he got boos. Adam Cole made the fucking face that he does. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Adam Cole, baby. The kayfabe along that move alone is enough to get him over. Like, EC3 has his character. Adam Cole has his character. That's how you book it. That is good booking. That is what the main roster should do. Why is this so goddamn hard for the main roster to do? Why?
I don't know.
Calm down, DDP, with your positive yoga shit. Brad, what did you think of the tag team title match? We didn't ask Rad yet. Hold on, we got to ask Rad, Logan.
Sorry.
What about the match? What was your question, Travis?
No, what did you think of the tag team title match?
It was good. I didn't think it was my favorite on the card or anything like that, but I definitely was down with that finish. Seeing Roderick Strong join Undisputed Era at the end, I thought that was an awesome finish, and I totally did mark out just a little bit, but it was great, and definitely looking forward to where this is going to take us.
Definitely.
Like, I was with a new wrestling fan. He's like, oh my God, the good guy turned? Holy shit, this is like an anime. This is like a TV. This is like Walking Dead up in here. I'm up for the next one. I was like, don't get your hope up. He's going to the main roster.
Yeah, he's going to have to wait a couple of months.
Moment. Like, yeah, that was good.
Don't worry, they'll fuck it up. So basically,
like, oh my God. Like, that's the only negative I can take out of this is I go, let me put this in WWE perspective. We got it now. How can we fuck this up now on the main roster? Got it.
They always do. They always do. I think they definitely messed up with the whole club storyline. AJ Styles
messed up. They didn't even try.
I mean, it had so much potential. They maybe booked it for the first couple of matches and just disappeared.
That's true. They're just like, here they are. See them? Do you see them? They're standing beside him. That's good enough for you, isn't it? All right.
Well, looking at these reports and all that, and seeing that they're planning on the Undisputed Era, going to SmackDown and rating that a little bit and staying on NXT and all that, I could see Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson and Finn Balor going to SmackDown, getting with AJ Styles, and then feuding with the Undisputed Era.
Finn Balor and AJ Styles need to stay separated and almost create their own stables. Because they were two different Bullet Clubs.
And WWE is going to try to do what they're doing with Omega and Rhodes right now. They're watching it. They got guys in WWE corporate right now watching that pay-per-view when it went down.
By the way, the match ended. It was great.
They're going to copy it. Watch.
Cody and Kenny was great. Just letting you know.
All right.
They're gonna try and copy it with zero build.
But let's try to hope they're learning their lessons, if anything. I don't want to be complete sour Sally's about it.
Yeah, I don't want
Sandras.
anybody
Get it
becoming
right.
James or anything and quitting.
I'm just disappointed we haven't seen the rise of Mike Kanellis yet.
Yes!
Oh my
More
God.
Mike.
God,
Oh, we need it.
save me, Lord.
They formed the
Best
Mike
theme
Kanellis
song in
Alliance
history.
live on it.
Really quick, I just want to point out that Trent Seven and Tyler Bate are both people who are, I believe, signed to NXT. Like, they're on the roster pages now. You know, Roderick Strong just turned on Pete Dunne. I hear Pete Dunne has a couple of friends that he might be able to bring along to fight Roderick Strong in the Undisputed Era.
No, it's
All I'm
absolutely
saying.
No. It is no. If you listen to Chris Jericho's podcast, it is no coincidence that the UK title was a thing as soon as Progress and ICW became a thing. It is no coincidence. So the fact that Roderick Strong has turned and there's still Trent Seven, Mark Andrews, Tyler Bate, and company all in Progress that are half signed aren't a thing yet against this even Undisputed Era and what have you. Like, it's not a coincidence. It's WWE's MO to fuck over other upcoming promotions in regions. In this case, it's not just the US anymore. They've got that. Now it's become the UK. It's a matter of time before they start noticing WXW and then other promotions in Switzerland and what have you.
Why are people shocked? Vince has done this since he's been at the helm, cherry picking territories. Just this is
absolutely.
They've created the
business
super
decisions.
indie with NXT. Is all Triple H is brilliant though. He was brilliant creating the super indie. He cherry picked the best of the best. It just keeps getting better. And they're not. People are like they live in a bubble. They equate their booking to like they do back then. Like no, now they actually watch the indies because the indies actually fucking make money now. So now they're gonna copy it more than ever. And people don't get that, you know. So, but let's get positive again. You know how to do that when you talk about the match
yes,
the goddamn
I
night,
will.
Logan. It's
Come
time.
on now.
NXT time.
Hang on, let me say one more thing.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna piss off everyone right now. I'm gonna say I'm a bigger fan of Undisputed Era than anything Bullet Club.
I disagree respectfully.
Sure.
It's kind of unfair because it's kind of like because Bullet Clubs had different variations, kind of like an NWO evolved over time in different forms or whatever. But I don't know about that. I don't think Undisputed Eras have been around long enough to even kind of be compared with that.
I mean, the
agree.
storytelling alone, you know, the Bullet Club triumphs anything Undisputed Era has done so far.
Well, I'm just saying I think there's going to be a bigger talk at the end of 2018 than the Bullet Club.
We'll see.
That's what I was thinking. We'll see.
Bold prediction.
And they should be because they're on a bigger stage. And if they're not a bigger buzz, there's a problem. And that's usually their booking. This match was not.
Travis. Thank you.
No problem. Mega Power Handshake. This match was not booked bad. Finally, I feel like we got a good, well-booked little payoff to something. And I felt like it was time. As great and as big as a fucking fan of Almas I am, I feel like it was time to put it on black. You need some new blood, some more guys to get that boost, some credibility. Match of the night, my God. And Almas is the hottest guy in this company. He is gold. Anything this guy touches in ring is gold right now. My God, this guy is blowing me away every time I see him more and more.
Oh,
I don't want him. I don't want JD doing that noise and then you say blowing away. Please
God. We're not reviewing a Pat Patterson match, Logan. Calm down.
I think you guys are.
Oh.
Jesus. Let's bring some class into it.
All right, stop it, Billy and Chuck. God damn it.
God. Sidebar, I just had to review like 10 minutes of footage talking about Billy and Chuck in a mini documentary for our buddy V's channel, so look for that in the future. Literally.
And that's exactly
and
why I
out.
mentioned it.
Hashtag cheap plug.
That's exactly why I mentioned it, Travis.
That's
there you
sexiest
go.
plug of the night. Pun intended. That's how you intend puns, Logan. You see how it's done.
Yeah, you know what? But this NXT Championship match, for me personally, showcase what Almas can do and what Almas can do in the future in the main roster. In my opinion, I think it's time. I think he's definitely going to be a bigger star than Alberto Del Rio, in my opinion. Let's just
or at
say,
least he should be.
definitely should be.
If they keep
based on performance alone.
Got to keep Vega with him for a while.
I say never let him go away from her.
Don't do what you did with Ricardo Rodriguez, basically. Don't strip 50%, if not more, of the goddamn gimmick. What an enhancement Ricardo Rodriguez really was. Say what you want about Del Rio. It added a lot. Even though he didn't do a lot, really, but it added so when you took that away, especially put him with Rob Van Dam, which made as much sense as fucking Colin buying shirts that are worth the money he's paying for them, I guess. I don't know.
Buy
Fucking
Jinder Mahal shirts, the best goddamn thing anyone's ever seen in this business.
unless it has an elephant on it, I guess.
Fight me.
I don't know who's a better heel
I've
right
never
now.
wanted to get an
Travis
animal
May-
tattooed on my arm just to send a picture to somebody every day than an elephant until you told me that.
I quit. I'm done.
I'm getting a so you're getting a tramp stamp of an elephant that has Colin's name in the middle? God damn.
Ugh, now who's being dumb? I'll take it to a guy who's been an
No one
Almas
else
fan.
on the show has any idea what the fuck we're talking about. It's
Exactly.
great.
I was going to bring it to you there, Toots. You're a huge Almas fan, Colin. You have been for you. But even when he was doing the lazy party boy gimmick, I remember doing shows with you back then. We were like, man, but he's still really good, and they're just kind of missing the boat. He's untapped, you know, like.
I've enjoyed Almas since he came. He had the suspenders, he had the bowling hat. It was a bad time. It was like,
Bowling hat.
whatever it was
Lost
called.
Periquas.
Yeah, something like that. But he had real go away heat with the people. No one wanted to see this guy, and they paired him off with Zelina Vega. He lost all the bullshit, and now he's one of the biggest stars in NXT.
Yeah.
And it's insane the reaction he gets. And I always love during the entrances he brings out the mask. He has a La Sombra thing going on for a little bit. I love that.
WWE's always kind of had, and I agree. WWE's always kind of had rotten luck since Mysterio's kind of stepped back at finding their next top Latin star. And I mean, the original Sin Cara was a complete bust, so they had the scraps of Hunico under a mask. Del Rio at first had a lot of goddamn potential, was going well, and just. But I feel like Almas is that guy. Finally, since a Guerrero or Rey Mysterio, a big Latin star because there's that demographic, that Latin market, they really want to tap into it. And that's the guy.
It's so good.
That's the guy.
Oh. Oh my god. I gotta jump in here now. I have to.
Me. You're triggering
I
me.
have to. I have to. Logan, I have to.
God. It's like having
Almas has been Sombra has been amazing to me since day one. Even I am with Colin. Even with the party boy gimmick, it's like, oh, where are they going with this? Oh my god, they can't just be burying him. No way. He's too good. He's had matches with Tommy Gunn and Shinsuke and AJ Styles in the past. Like, it's happened.
Tommy Gunn, the guy from Rocky V, or Tommy?
I was gonna say that's not what he was called.
Did he have AIDS? Oh shit, I'm fucked.
Guys, I'm fucking almost 7 beers in here. Like,
alcohol
stop
is
busting my
bad,
chops.
okay?
Okay, so just like his original name, you should Tommy end your drinking for the night.
I've drank almost a 2-liter Mountain Dew tonight. I'm pretty jacked.
Like,
I had a cup of Mountain Dew, so that
like
works.
with the Vega additive to this Almas gimmick, it has put him over the edge. Not from just this mid-card persona. Now he's main event level. He's proved that with the Gargano match, 5 stars. First WWE 5-star match in since 2012?
Yeah, it was the first 5-star since CM Punk versus John Cena at Money in the Bank.
And now you can argue that this is the first 4.5-star match since even then. 1-on-1.
Based on these, by the way, for the listeners, these are Meltzer stars, not like
Correct.
official. This is one man's opinion. I don't think Cena and Punk is 5 stars. It's 4, if anything. If I had to start.
To be fair, like it's like anybody can do moves. A story is just as part as the wrestling match as the moves are.
The atmosphere.
I am a full affirmative of that. That's why you could argue that the last match of the night was could be in the ballpark of a conversation.
You know who got over in that match the most? Chicago. Just the setting made that match amazing, and it was really good. It was probably Cena and Punk's best match they ever had in ring too. It was Cena. I remember taking a knee to the face, but I don't know. Gargano and Almas all day. All day. When I watched those two at the last takeover, I saw, and this is marky to say, but I'm not ashamed. Come at me. Glimpses of Brett and Sean. Glimpses of guys that had this beautiful chemistry. That's just, Jesus Christ, they don't stop. They keep going. And we definitely saw that type, but in a completely different way in this match. Rad with Aleister Black. Another great match. This is definitely a 4-star match. If I was maybe 4.5. This is just,
Totally.
but the blend of their different styles showed off and done well. I feel like at the end of the day in this match.
Yeah, I totally agree.
See that, Logan?
The
That's how you cut a promo.
I can help you out. Like the black
you-
black European hard hitting style proves that, mixed in with what we saw previously with Almas mixing in with the pure wrestling style that is Johnny Gargano. Almas can do any wrestling style. It proves how good he is. It proves also how his manager plays into a role. Yes, Vega plays a huge part into these matches for sure in 2018. It makes him almost a different wrestler 100%. Anybody argue with this fact?
No, not at all. It also goes to show, and old heads like Cornette and people on the podcast talk about it all the time. Managers are a lost art. This is why it enhances talent so much. Just a mouthpiece, not just eye candy. She's so much more than eye candy. Even though she's beautiful, we can all agree she's tremendous on the mic.
She's tremendous on the mic. The faces she would make after some of these moves, the vindictive scowl she would have. It's a lost art. Travis, you hit it on the mark. Slam Pigs podcast, right
Male
there.
or female, doesn't matter. You know what I mean? If and WWE relied on just female eye candy for so long, they forgot about even Frenchie Martin was better than fucking Christ Jackie Gata at ringside with Charlie Haas. Give me Frenchie Martin any day over his psychology, and I'm glad they're teaching and bringing that kind of gimmick back to a character, Logan, in 2018. It makes me happy, Logan, just like a steak and cheese sub.
Yes, and I know you loved those pictures earlier. Just letting you
Motherfucker.
know, letting you guys know. I think Aleister Black winning this championship was the smartest booking that we saw in a while, and I think it was well deserved. And I think what he had to go throughout this match was also just tremendous. And if, to be honest, if Almas does not get called up, I kind of want to see a rematch.
Ooh, see, so here's an issue. My community brought it up. Based on the match that we just saw between Almas and Aleister Black, we just witnessed Aleister Black essentially systematically destroy all sense of kayfabe of Almas's moveset be kicked out of. Okay? If he's not called up in this match in the next week or two, all that tells us is WWE does not have a plan for Almas, and they don't want to use him in the future. That's where an issue lies. If they call him up, then problem solved. Issue resolved.
They're also afraid of poaching too much top talent from NXT to see what they'll be left with scraps, maybe. But I feel like they totally got a ton of guys that will easily fill that main event void if he goes, and I feel like he should. And it's time. That's another guy, like we said about Ember Moon. It's his time. He needs to be one of the surprises soon.
Like in 2018, if Almas has not proved himself at this point with a 5-star match in this, in my opinion, 4.75 star match against Aleister Black, as much as his moveset was destroyed, if he's not called up at this point, he will never be. And if he does, he'll be a Ty Dillinger. We'll just be buried, and we'll hardly ever see him.
He just did that to Ty Dillinger. God.
I'd just like to point out Ty Dillinger is still over with the NXT crowd. They were doing the 10 chants when Almas and Black were both down.
Yeah, well,
don't do the candlelight vigil for his career.
That's why he's not on the main roster. He's on the main roster, but he's not chanting because Vince hates the 10 count. Period.
I don't think Vince hates any count.
I'm watching WXW, and they're doing the foomph count, the 5 count. And it's over as fuck.
I don't think at this point Vince hates any crowd chant that gets over like 10.
Oh,
I just feel like he's been injured, and they're just finding a way to...
He definitely... He hasn't been injured, though. He's good. He doesn't get injured. He doesn't like the 10 count. You know, and the same thing with your chant thing. That's why he told Greg Hamilton to stop pausing, because he would always go, you know, this thing's set for one fall. But now he doesn't do that anymore. He just keeps talking because he doesn't like that.
BS. We heard it tonight multiple times, the one fall thing. So I call you
wrong.
NXT.
Wrong. Mike Rome still kind of talked. He might have hesitated just a little, but he still talked over it.
Mm-hmm. I don't see why it's such a big deal on that kind of stuff, though.
Yeah,
I don't either, but Vince McMahon is insane, and Vince McMahon does what Vince McMahon wants.
It's a nuance, pal.
No, that's exactly right. He doesn't like the 10 count. Toronto ruined it for him. I was there firsthand at that takeover where it was 10 count all night. Kevin Owens did even at the house show, Kevin Owens did the 10-10-10 chant, like to mock the Toronto crowd just to get more heat. Like, that's what wrestlers should be doing. Vince hates the 10 count. He hates Becky Lynch's accent. That's why we haven't seen Becky Lynch in a title picture since she won the SmackDown inaugural title. Like, it just goes on and on. It is nothing new with this guy.
Maybe I just want to hold on to hope that Vince still has somewhat of fucking common sense and can see how over it is. And I'm in denial.
Hey, he will if Rusev wins tomorrow. He has some decency left if Rusev wins. That's all I'm saying.
But this speculated...
I have Randy Orton winning based on the fact that it's WrestleMania and Vince hates life.
About this news that came out this week, guys, about Rusev, and this was like leverage because he asked out of his contract. See that?
Yes, sir.
Did he really? I didn't know that.
Yep, he requested for his release because of the fact that he did not like how he was being treated, especially being over so much with the crowd.
I think Aiden English is the one who's more worried about Rusev, because if Rusev gets released, Aiden English is once again stuck doing nothing.
Dude, there's a promo going months back where Rusev threw a tantrum. He took an iPad from the announcer's table and he yells at the crowd, "I'm the TV champion." And the crowd goes insane.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is a guy who's over with the crowd as much. If you haven't listened to Chris Jericho's podcast, I highly implore anybody to listen to his podcast, because they get the inside treatment and they throw a little perspective on the matter.
Fuck that. Listen to ours.
Well, ours as well. You know,
listen to ours, then
Future Wrestling, Slam Pigs, and Red Leaf Retrocast, obviously. But if you want some inside moments, like Chris Jericho throws it out there that goes, "Hey, you're not putting this guy Rusev over. What the fuck are you doing in the wrestling industry?"
See, I feel like on that end, Vince is completely still petty, because that goes back to him holding a grudge for him and Lana coming out like 2 or 3 years ago, breaking kayfabe and say they got engaged. I think Vince is that petty, and that's why he just hasn't pushed him. He's like, "I'll show you."
Absolutely. That's part of the reason. That's what Chris Jericho's calling him out on.
Yeah. And I didn't even know that. I was just assuming, like, fuck. And I could totally see reasons for that. And I could totally see the Becky Lynch thing, because quite frankly, as good as she is in ring, I have a problem with her accent. Just less is more with her on the mic, I feel like. Sometimes they let her talk a little too much.
I don't give a shit what their accent is like. If they can cut a good promo, make me convinced of the match before, I don't care what they sound like.
And we have the biggest Becky Lynch.
Nakamura going... It could be Shinsuke Nakamura going, simply need a face, as WWE has been forcing them on, as bullshit as it is. As long as they sell it correctly, it can work. Anything can work. We've seen it done before. I've seen it in Germany. I've seen it in Europe. I've seen it in Japan. Why can't it work at the biggest stage of it all? Baffles me.
Speaking of selling it correctly, is it just me or Colin when Black sold that ring post knee spot on the apron? He looked dead when he sold. He literally looked like a corpse for a second. It was great.
He looked ready to just be like, I'm good. You take your title and just have fun. I'm done.
I was gonna say earlier, so Travis, you're trying to tell me when Rusev and Lana came out about their engagement that Vince McMahon was singing Steven Richards' song, "I'll show you, you'll see."
I'll show you. You'll see. Whatever it was. Yeah. Wow. I haven't thought about that theme in Jesus. Thanks.
You're
Logan.
welcome.
Reminded me of terrible wrestling themes.
You're welcome.
God, that was awful. How creative. I'll show you. You'll see. Anyway, what threw me off track was not Stevie Richards. Jesus.
Dropping all the references here tonight. By the way, I think my favorite part of this match was when Aleister Black won and he had the title. I have never seen that man smile before, and then he looked like he looked like it was like his inner child coming out, like not the Aleister Black character, but the real person he is on the inside. He was like, "Holy shit, I just did this thing!" Like it was so cool to see him. You know, I don't know if it's supposed to be part of the character.
Absolutely.
It was so cool to see him as a human being. He was like, "Oh shit, I know I'm supposed to be this like dark satanical kind of character, but I just fucking won the NXT title."
Colin, here's the elephant in the room on that.
Fuck you, Travis.
Is that I'll go across the board? Is that good to see him? Should have stayed like a dark title win? Because when I was watching, I was like, I don't know. Maybe they're making him a little too real. Because I want that dark character. Maybe I'm marky for it, but I feel like he nails it pretty well when done right. And maybe
I think it was the perfect kind. I think it was like the perfect amount of just sort of like breaking the fourth wall. Because I mean, he had the match with Velveteen Dream, and when he won, he stayed in character. He said his name. It was fine and all that. At this point, they're wrestlers at the end of the day, and no matter what character they have. They still like, the championship belts. They might not need them, but they still, they're wrestling. And in kayfabe, that's what you go after are the wrestling belts, titles, straps, whatever Vince McMahon approves of. So I liked it. I thought it was fun to see him, crack a bit of a smile like, oh, hey, I just did this really cool thing.
And I feel like the fans weren't like, boo, you're acting real. No, the fans cheered him and he got a good reaction to it.
Exactly.
It was a good reaction to Aleister Black. I thought it was appropriate for the character that they were trying to portray. Even in the match, like, even a dark, brooding character, like, good for Aleister. Like, I've seen kayfabe characters in Germany, when they win the title, they go out of their way to break character and just talk to the audience. Just be like, I've worked 10 years for this. Aleister Black, Tommy End. Holy shit, has he worked for this?
Yeah, definitely. Was this the right call? Go ahead.
It was like me passing my engineering exam. Like, oh, I passed? Like that kind of moment. It was that moment for that guy.
It was like me when I beat Contra 3 for the first time.
It's like me when I'm ever going to beat the first Uncharted game.
Oh my god. You guys just keep making it lower and lower. NXT champion. Beat Contra 3. I will beat a video game.
Hey, Travis, I just want to point out that my friend who is listening just sent me an elephant. I hate you with every fiber of my being, Travis.
Good. Let it flow. Rad Zero. The NXT title match, booking wise, what did you think?
Perfectly executed, in my opinion, match of the night. I think a lot of people agree. We saw the best from these two guys. It worked very well together, and Zelina Vega, she really knows what she's doing as manager. So her and Almas make the perfect package, and I hope they don't break them up because that's what we're meant to see.
Look at that. Can't argue with that again. Exactly. She's the perfect.
Damn it! I really hope they don't break them up.
Yeah, they shouldn't.
Oh, it'd be a travesty to wrestling if they just break them up immediately.
Well, you know what Vince McMahon is good at doing.
Oh, stop! Just stop! Let me have a little hope.
You don't get any hope, pal.
Oh,
that was the worst Vince McMahon ever.
I admit that. No, I do a terrible Vince McMahon.
Thank
Travis,
God
say-
I'm
it's
here.
Travis.
Still
say
an
that same thing,
accurate
but-
representation.
The key
Travis.
to it is years of drinking and tobacco abuse to get a raspy good Vince voice, I guess. I don't know.
I'm about halfway there for one of them, so I'm okay.
Right, so still have Ring of Honor to watch after this, guys.
All right, let's bring it home. What the best built match in this company in ages. Can't even think of a match built up with a good payoff like this. Johnny Gargano, the mega powers explode. DIY, pal. And Tommaso Ciampa. We talked about the entrance with no music earlier. It was great. It was great.
Oh,
That was real great.
Yeah, just this card, like we've said on the predictions and so many shows leading up and earlier tonight, was stacked, jacked, rip, chip, buff cut, whatever. It was fucking meaty card. It was hard to follow all this. These guys had a really good goddamn match. And what it had to follow, it wasn't their fault because, like we said, the match with Black and Almas was incredible. But this was great. Just pacing wise, maybe it should have been a little more intense. I feel like they wrestled a little like, hey, we're having a wrestling match and we can bend some rules, as opposed to I'm gonna rip your goddamn face off because of all this shit that's been going on. Like I would have booked it as Gargano just charges the ring. That he didn't just casually like. He didn't do his whole entrance, but he kind of just slowly. I would just had him go in there. These guys just straight up do the Don Fry, fucking just. They needed more of that. I feel like more, and this isn't me and my preference or speaks to anything like that. And you're really gonna hear me say this. More weapon usage, possibly more usage of the environment, a little more brawling into the crowd. I don't know. Think outside the box a little bit because this feud definitely needed it. But I'll say real quick, I'll review it before you guys say anything so we can wrap up the show and get everybody's 2 cents in. It's been a hell of a night. I liked it, and I would definitely, anyone that likes wrestling, this is a feud done right. Definitely, and go out of your way to watch it. But don't hold it against it for what it had to follow, I guess, is my little disclaimer going in. Whoever wants to chime in, I guess, go for it.
Fucking hate you, Logan. I'll go since I'm already talking.
Send him an
Logan
elephant
sent me a
off air.
fucking photo of me on an elephant because, of course, he did. I hate everything in my life. Anyways, I thought, first of all, I love that this was the main event. I thought this was going to be second down. I assumed they were going to go with the title match first, but I like how they were like, the story triumphs championships, which is, I feel like, is a big part of this storyline. Because this storyline, well, I did advocate at last TakeOver to have Gargano or have Ciampa help Gargano win so Ciampa could take the title away. I'm glad they didn't do that. This feud does not need a title, and it never did in the first place, and that's what I liked about it. I like how the story has been building for close to like 8-10 months since he was been gone. He came back. He did it very subtly too. He didn't make a big deal out of it. He came back, smacked him with the crutch, walked away. And he never really made it a big deal every time he did. He just came out, fucked Johnny over in the simplest way he can, and left. And now this was, Johnny's chance to get revenge. This was Tommaso's chance to, let out all of his frustration. And I thought it was absolutely insane. I liked the slow pace this match had at the beginning, and then it turned into a fast-paced brawl. I like the spots they were doing. I'm with Travis. I feel like it could have had a little more weapon use, but for what they did, I thought it was good. I liked how they used the brace. They used the crutch. I really liked the suplex off of the announce table. That was really cool. I liked the powerbomb onto the concrete. I thought it was great. And the ending was done flawlessly. I really enjoyed, Johnny's about to, stab him in the head with the crutch. He pauses for a second. He remembers all the things they've gone through, the title wins, the Cruiserweight Classic match they had, and he kind of teases that moment again. He puts the crutch down. He sits down, and, you can kind of see the resemblance. He was going to go, right up next to him and hold him like, Ciampa held Gargano in the Cruiserweight Classic when Gargano beat him then. And then, Ciampa, being the bastard that he is, he was like, I'm not letting that moment happen. He tries to smack him with the brace. Gargano sees it coming a mile away. Applies the finisher. And what I really loved, he was doing the Gargano escape, but he's like, that's not enough. He takes the knee that's out of the brace. He uses the brace, against his face, taps out. I thought this match was perfect.
No, I thought you meant he took the brace when Ciampa, the spot where he hurt his knee. Ciampa had his bare knee out, and he just shattered the brace over his knee running. That was,
that too. I mean, that was
my
also a great
God.
spot. I thought it was great.
Yeah. Logan?
For me, this was beautifully executed from start to finish. And for me, I can't say anything negative about this. You know, a lot of people were like, how are they going to be able to top what the other men did and women did before this match, before the main event? And they didn't need to really top what we saw before, because they just completely just blew our minds with what this match needed to be, and they gave us what it needed to be, and that's all that we can ask for.
I feel like the ending spoke perfectly. That silhouette of like the DIY, one last little sit together or whatever.
Exactly.
JD?
Look, man, I mentioned this early in the podcast. Like, holy shit. This is what the main card should try to do. It's not hard. Even with a dude who's been injured, it doesn't take much to get them over. Period. I thought beginning of the night that this would be, forgive me, of course, I'm 6 beers in. I thought this would be middle of the card and it would build the other matches up. Okay, fine. Main event. So have you. It did not disappoint regardless. It had everything you wanted in a well-built storyline. WWE wrestling and indie wrestling in itself is built on not just moves, but storylines as well. Johnny Gargano overcoming a villain is very wrestling. Even him failing a couple times prior is very wrestling.
Full circle in the story here. It came full circle in the end.
Like, even if he would have lost tonight, it still would have made sense. That's what wrestling is. Tonight, I lost my goddamn mind. Whether it was a women's match, a ladder match, a one-on-one match, a tag match. I didn't know what I was expecting tonight. Yes, in the predictions, me and Travis, Hibiki DMD, went perfect tonight.
That's me, Logan.
We both went perfect tonight. Whether that's 30 years experience of watching wrestling, I don't know. The point is that despite going perfect, we were both highly entertained and happy with what happened. That has to amount for something. So, I am calling out, as I did on other podcasts that I've hosted on and my own, WWE WrestleMania weekend, New Orleans, which I have myself participated in the past, and it was very disappointing. To call my bluff, do you put the belt on Shinsuke Nakamura, the first ever Japanese wrestler to hold a major title in World Wrestling Entertainment? World Wrestling Federation, have you? Do you have the balls to do that? Do you create some sort of continuity with Asuka having some sort of meaning behind her streak? Do you do this?
Do ya? Do you, pal? Do you have the cojones, pal?
Calling you out.
Do you
Snap
have it?
to a
Ow.
goddamn Slim Jim tonight on World Wrestling Podcast, Future Wrestling, what have you, Slam Pigs, everything. Do you have the balls to do what I'm calling you out on? Do you have it? guts, Nickelodeon. I don't give a shit what audience you're going for. Surprise me. Make me feel what I felt tonight at NXT TAKEOver New Orleans at WrestleMania 34. That's what I'm saying tonight. Thank you.
Well put. Can you guys hear me real quick?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Well put. They definitely have set the bar high with this, as they always do with takeovers. And by the way, you need Mike O'Malley if you're going to bring Guts into it. He needs to host as they get the rock and they climb and all the competitions. God, I love that show.
And the trophy.
Yes. The Crypto Rock? What the hell was it called?
I forgot. It was glow in the dark. That's all I remember.
What did you think of Gargano Ciampa, Brad Zero?
Oh, I loved it. As I mentioned in the chat earlier, I think this was storytelling at its finest. It's something that we haven't seen in a long time, and the build-up was definitely there. It's been a long build-up thus far, and I feel no matter who won, this was the climax, and having the face win this match definitely puts it close to it. I'm not sure we'll get any rematches after that. Again, this is just a perfect story that was told, and I'm a huge fan of old school WCW, and it definitely reminded me of those old grudge matches back in the day. So I definitely a fan of this match.
Oh, thank you, Red Zero. Thank you.
Yep.
Logan, JD, Colin, Red. We have done it. First ever successful simulcast is in the books, Logan.
Yes, sir. And I want to see what the final thoughts and final grades are for everybody for this event. I'm going to throw it to Colin.
Stark silence for everyone because no one knows who goes first. But all in all, I think TakeOver continues to one-up itself. I think every single show just gets better and better and better. And it's never disappointing. There's never really been a disappointing TakeOver match, and it sure as hell didn't start tonight. Top to bottom, this was probably one of the best takeovers, if not the best takeover to air. And I mean, WrestleMania has almost triple the matches tomorrow, but it's going to be difficult for them to one-up themselves from, having such a great show top to bottom. Can they do it? Who knows? But as far as takeover goes, 2 thumbs up, 7 stars, A+, all around.
I'm going to go next. At the end of the day, WrestleMania is going to have to take some Viagra to top what we saw tonight at NXT TakeOver New Orleans. And yes, I'll have to give it an A+ as well.
Rad.
I agree with both Logan and Colin. A+, definitely.
Fair enough. The JD, Junkyard Dude. What did you think?
Man, I don't know. I've been cutting promos all night, I feel. I mean, I am 6.5 beers in.
You've been in character.
I have been a wrestling... I mean, hey, that's what my audience wants out of me.
The reality era now.
I mean, they want the Snap to a Slim Jim character. They want the best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be.
I was going to say something, but no, not going to piss off anybody.
Holy crap. I mean, what I'm going to do is go, es ist sehr geil ein Event. Es war ein fullest pay-per-view. I cannot explain my wrestling fandom enough. Yes, that was a shout out to WXW, my favorite wrestling show that I have seen in 2018. But, Haba! NXT TakeOver New Orleans. I used to live 20 minutes outside of New Orleans. I've been to WrestleManias in the past. I've been to takeovers. I have been to Impact Wrestling events. Tonight was a good night to be a wrestling fan. It was a good event. Even the lowest rated show I would take over any WrestleMania match that I can think of in the last 6 years. That includes a Daniel Bryan shock. I can't believe what I witnessed tonight as a wrestling fan. It was fun. It was entertaining. It was wrestling. It's simple as that. It's why I am a wrestling fan today. NXT TAKEOVER New Orleans was a 4.75 star event all around. All it took was one match to create a 5-star type environment, and that's what it would be.
I feel
That's
like if any, and yes, definitely, well fucking said, as you've been on point all night, man. Can't argue with that at all. But I feel like if any casual fan, smart fan, any person that watches wrestling, watches WWE Weekly, and grows tired of the mundane bullshit sometimes, or the filler, or just whatever, anything that's making you question being a fan, keeping your network subscription, even looking at pro wrestling, all it takes has been proven for the last 4 years, going strong, is at the NXT TakeOver show. Since it's pretty much debuted, there's never been a bad one. I said it earlier, maybe I jumped the gun because it's right after I tweeted out, like, this is the best takeover ever. This and our Evolution are my two favorite takeovers now, and that's saying a lot. There's been some tremendous ones. A+ from me. Gargano and Ciampa, along with Black and Almas alone, would have made this an A show, but everything else, the strong turn. The Baszler stuff, I was fine with what I saw, and I'm going to go back and watch the whole ladder match, but I'm sure it's going to be fucking awesome. So, I can't miss. Cherry on top of a cake, on top of a cherry, on top of a cake. The layers of this card, it was great. You need to check it out like you checked out this tonight. Thank each and every goddamn one of you gentlemen for helping us do this simulcast. JD, your show, Red Leaf Retrocast. Of course, my pally Colin from Slam Pigs.
Oh, thank you.
Logan Hogan, you Hollywood prick. Man, what can I say? Thank you, my man.
Thank you as well, everybody.
And other than that, guys, that's it. That is our post show. We'll catch you, though, tomorrow night, immediately following WrestleMania. No clue who's going to show up. We'll see. But you can bet your bottom dollar, rest assured, the Red Hot Fires of Logan and Myers and myself will be there. Until then, Slam Pigs Podcast, Future Wrestling, Red Leaf Retrocast, NXT. See ya.